Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, as always, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bahar Chakadash, which Yahweh, that's the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, that's whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, it's his true name, and the Rachakwadash, that is the Holy Spirit. And I would like to also give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. And I just want to do a quick lesson that's based on how E is going to come down with that great wrath soon. All right. And, we've been, watching all these, video clips. I'll say this, it's not just here in the States, mind you. Things are actually happening worldwide. All right. And, you have all these protests that are occurring. Now, I'll say this because, more and more information is coming out. I'll say this, a lot of these protests that you do see, a lot of it's orchestrated, okay? You have a lot of agents, different, agent provocateurs, okay? In the midst of these things, all right, that are, creating, the chaos that you see, all right? But regardless, whether this stuff be organic or orchestrated, it's giving Esau the justification and coming down with that great wrath. And Elder Malcolm, he sent us a video this morning, and you got a special Marine, okay, group that's being deployed out there in Los Angeles, okay? And you had these different ex-Marines, Marines, whoever they may be, right? But they were involved in that. They were saying this particular group of Marines, they are trained, all right, to basically just, kill and destroy. They have no regards to life. They literally just follow orders, and they're going to get the mission done, okay? So it's going to get real nasty out there in LA. All right, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of things. It's only going to get worse. And like I said, it's going to happen worldwide too. They're going to shut this world down. You see, because Esau wants to get his new world order, going. All right, everything's in place. There just needs to be, these different black swan events to occur. All right, in order for them to, get things going. They have to have all these different events happening at once or back to back, like a domino effect pretty much, in order to, fulfill their plans. All right, but let me get this. Let me start off with this scripture because I did mention it. We'll get Revelation, the 12th chapter. Okay. Oh, of course, not my phone's got to freeze, but it says what? That the devil's going to come down in great wrath because he knows that he has but a short time. All right. Esau knows that his time is short. So he's got to get everything in order, and see, he does a thing called order out of chaos. All right. Which that's, order out of chaos. So he wants all these things to occur. So then he can, like I said, set up his, his NWO, that agenda that he has in mind, that he's had in mind for how many centuries now. You see? All right. So this is why you're seeing all these, protests, in LA. You see the protests in Chicago, New York, wherever it may be. And like I said, there's stuff happening in France, out there in the UK, all over. And I'll say this is all part of biblical prophecy. It says what? That there's going to be uproars of the people, right? There's going to be sedition amongst men. We're really living in these times now, okay? Well, let me get this real quick. This is the book of Revelation. Let's get that. This is Revelation chapter 12. And I'm going to start at 10 actually, but the main point is in 12. Revelation 10, 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And you see, our salvation is coming, okay? The kingdom of our power is at hand, and Esau will be casted down. And he's trying to accuse our people of being, a menace to society right now, okay? In particular right now, the Latin tribes, they're the problem. According to them, they're a bunch of, drug dealers, welfare babies, whatever you want to call it, the situation. You know what I'm saying? Give me one moment. What else? They think that, we're just, like I said, abusing the system, whatever the case may be, man. You know what I mean? You see, he's got to, mark us as, the issues or the issue. When in reality, he's actually the cancer of the entire earth, And that's the thing, that these, Edomites don't want to address that they're the problem at the end of the day, because actually when you, get into it, they're the root of every issue and conflict in the entire earth. All right, you see. So the hell with with them, but they got to paint us, like I said, as the bad guy. Which I'll say this too, just to throw it out there. A lot of our people, they are a menace to society, though. Our people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. The wicked have seduced our nation, and now we're just through. We deal with it every day. All right, but still, like I like to say, Jake does things on a macro scale. Esau does things Jake does things on a micro scale. Esau does things on a macro scale, right? You'll have, Jake maybe selling a couple ounces, even maybe up to a couple pounds, right? You know what I'm saying, of drugs. But E will literally have shipment containers full of dope, right? You got you got Jake gangbanging, right? On the on the corners and the blocks, right? You know what I'm saying? But E will gangbang with entire countries, Jake does a little bit of pimping, right? You got a couple prostitutes, bro. Esau does a whole human trafficking scheme. You see what I'm saying? He's the, like I said, he's the real menace, okay, of the earth. But hey, he's got to blame our people, because he's got to be looked at as the pious and righteous individual. He can't be wrong. He can't be bad. You see? But let's get this. Let me get back to it. Revelation 12 and 11 now, and it says, and they, meaning the elect, overcame him, meaning Esau, by the blood of the Lamb, which that is Yahushua, okay? And by the word of their testimony. And actually they, in specific, is talking about the elect, okay, of the nation of Israel. But it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. All right, and see, us preaching this word is a very heavy deal, okay? This is not some low-level, stuff that we're bringing out. Hey, this is what's literally destroying the kingdom. All right, now, of course, it's, starting off with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, but, through this, weapon that the Lord has given us, we're, breaking down strongholds. This kingdom's collapsing. You see it. All right, this place is through. They even had a meme posted up recently, and they were showing all these different, so-called white countries, right? And they call it, Western society, and how they're up in flames. And, a lot of people are making this question now, is Western society falling? Hey, and the answer is yes, it is falling. Esau's kingdom and structure is breaking apart as we speak. Hey, these words are manifesting. That's why it's so important that we keep pushing this word and just keep, grinding, keep laboring. All right. Nothing else is going to make this place fall. Because look, like I said in a lesson, I believe it was about 2 days ago, I mentioned that, Esau, technically has us beat physically speaking, with his, modern day technology, with his, weaponry, okay, his modern day medicine, all these different things. He has us, he has us basically, Hey, but the Lord, what he's going to do is, the Lord's going to come in with that divine intervention, and the underdog is going to get the big W at the end of the day. Esau is not going to win this war. He's going to try, but he's going to lose terribly. You see? All right, let me just keep reading this, though. And it says, and they love not their lives unto the death. And that's why you got to be detached from this place, man. You shouldn't want to live in this place anymore, man. You should have that spirit of, hey, man, if it's meant for me to die, so be it. Whatever, I ain't living anyways. Because we're not. We're just surviving. We just go through the motions, basically. But we're really not living in this place. In this current world. And I'll say this, we do have life, though. And that's because Yahweh Shemal Shai, gave us, true life. But, in this world, so to speak, nah, man. We're disconnected from it. All right? Let me keep reading. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's what Esau is coming to do. All right? He's about to, bring that wrath to this world. Everybody thinks that, because I'll say this, man, it's not even just Jake, because you have all these Muslims, these different, Arabs, these different, Elamites, so on and so forth, right? Chinese, these people think that they can just, come into these different countries and do whatever the hell they want, you know what I'm saying? And just, keep protesting, keep, so-called, for lack of words, taking over. You think he's gonna really allow you people to do that? All right? He's setting you up for the, he's got a trap set for you. He's allowing you to enter so you can fall into that pit. He's about to come down, in a group, for lack of words, he's coming down with that wrath. Salaki, I can't even think of another word, It's about to get gruesome out here. People are about to get slain, okay, by thousands, man. He's about to start torturing you people. Hey, like we've been mentioning a lot lately out here in Chicago, he's about to get into that Buffalo Bill spirit. Go watch Silence of the Lambs, man. That dude was a complete bug out, man. Literally was a tranny or, a cross-dresser, whatever he was, sitting there, kidnapping women, throwing them down in a goddamn, well in his fucking basement. And then he would just, torture them and then, skin those women and then wear their skin, bro. You know what I'm saying? Esau's about to get back into his old spirit. We bring out this movie a lot too, American Psycho. Look, Esau's tired of, putting on that mask, that Patrick Bateman, you know what I'm saying, spirit. He's tired of pretending. He wants to be that killer that he really is. And he's going to be allowed to be who he is, once again. The Lords are going to allow E to be, that damn devil that he is. Okay? But that means he's going to come down with great wrath. Let me get this one too. All right? What is that? Isaiah chapter 10. Let's get this real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5, and it reads, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. Now remember, this is the Lord's left-hand side. The Lord's using him to execute judgment on people. All right, you got to remember that, That's what he's set up to do. The Lord's bidding at the end of the day. And it says here, verse 6, I will send him against a hypocritical nation, talking about Jake, because Jake is a hypocrite, okay? They say that they believe in God and the Lord, so on and so forth, right? But they do everything that's opposite of it. These are little gremlins, little minions. They are of their father, the devil, which is Esau, man. All right? And this is why I'll say that it's beautiful seeing all these things, happening. It's good for them, those Mexicans and Guatemalans, Venezuelans, whatever, right? It's good for them. Esau's deporting them. The Esau's, making their life a living hell, bro. Okay? God damn, dude. Every time I, go anywhere, it's like these fucking Edomites pop up. Fucking hey, man. It's like, god damn. You be in the most in-the-cut spot that you can find, and somehow these motherfuckers are around. Shit is a vexation, bro. It's a lot, yeah, but yeah, it's good that our people are dealing with the trials and tribulations. Cause look, man, they believe in white JC, man. You know what I'm saying? That's their God. So hey, it's like as it says here. Let me get this real quick in the book of what is that? Judges. Run to your gods and let's see if they are gonna help you. Damn, man, I forgot how that's worded. I don't know why it slips my mind. I thought it was Judges. The 10th chapter? I thought it was the 13th. Is it 10 and 13? Yeah, it's 10 and 13. This is Judges 10 and 13. Yeah, ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. And that's what our people need to do. Go run to E now, right? That's your daddy. That's your savior. Go run to him. Let's see what he's going to do. But see, hey, Jake's getting to a point where they can't run to E anymore. Okay? Hey, because you know what's happening? Hey, the Lord is disannulling that covenant that they made with death. All right, let me get that real quick in Isaiah. Because that's what we're seeing right now. The Lord is cutting it, apart. Because that was never meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? We already have a covenant. And that's with Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai. All right? Our covenant is really with our power. Not E. That's not your A, because really, because the Lord says that, the nation of Israel is a, delicate and comely woman. We're the Lord's, wife. Our husband is Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, not this damn devil E. Okay? Our people are constantly committing spiritual adultery, and that's why they keep getting fucked up, man. Okay? Let me see if I can go on the cut over here. But that's why these things keep happening to our people. But let me get that real quick. All right? Get that in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 28 and 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death. All right, we know Esau, he is as death. He is death, you know what I'm saying? Okay? And it says here, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. And that's what our people do, all right? They believe in, the American dream, Christianity, whatever it is, Islam, so on and so forth. And now the Lord is saying, no, enough's enough. Especially with, his men out there telling you what's right, what's wrong, what's holy, what's profane. You people have no excuses, okay? You have no excuses. Jake's been out there ministering to you, for how many years and decades. Enough's enough. Hey, it's time for you to, eat your, the fruits of your labor, okay? You see? Let me keep reading, and it says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass us, it shall not come on Salakia. This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. He that believeth shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled. And that's what we're seeing. Like I said, this is why the Lord is allowing E to do what he's doing now. Okay? That, because look, man, he reneges on all his, you know what I'm saying, his agreements, his, truces, whatever you want to call them, you know what I'm saying? That man, is a backstabber, all right? You see? But that's the Lord putting that spirit on him. And he's tired of you, Jakes. He's tired of you. And then now you're replaceable. See, because I'll say this, for the longest, the reason why he kept our people around was because, he made money off of us. But now, he's got iRobots. And as I like to say, look, he has Jake, Esau, Moab, Ishmael, Ammon, etc. He's got his robots now. He doesn't need you people, okay? Look, you're all about to be replaced. I've been seeing more and more, videos and different articles on how they're literally about to, eliminate all these different jobs, from white collar to blue collar, from, to the entertainment world. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need you people anymore. That's why, he's about to just get rid of people in mass. And you got to remember, these elites, what do they say? I think that's in the, what is that, in Georgia, the Georgia Guidestones. I don't know if they're still up, because I know they were getting vandalized. But it said, what on those stones? Keep the population down to 500 million. You see? He doesn't want all these billions and billions and billions of people on Earth. He wants to keep it to low numbers so he can control it. And really, the main ones who are a part of that group are the elites, and those that are in that inner circle. Those top families of E. You see, that's what he wants to keep around. Not you fucking monkeys, man. You know what I'm saying? Wearing shiesty mask and just doing B&Es all day. You know what I mean? He's tired of this shit. He doesn't care. Look, he can find a robot to dunk a basketball, all right? Yeah, he could find, or he could have AI make some new music for him. I did a lesson 2 days ago mentioning that. You have the producer Timberland creating a whole new, business, for lack of words, right? A whole new company that consists of nothing but AI. And he has a new AI artist coming out very, very soon. You see? All right, yeah, and then that's spiritual. The brother said that those guide stones, all right, were struck down by lightning, and that's the Lord, all right, telling me that he ain't, in control of things, all right, you see. But let me get back to the scripture. This is Isaiah 28:18. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. And that's what we're seeing. Our people are being trodden down, all right, by the scourges. And let me get this. Those scourges, as it says in 2nd Ezra, the was it the 16th chapter? They're there for your amendments, right? This is 2nd Ezra 16:19. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And that word amendment, when you look it up, it goes into like your correction, into getting right. All right, so the Lord, places these plagues, all right, throughout the world to get our people, in the right mind. But this is the spirit that they're in. Verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. See, our people, they get, their ass whooped a little bit, and they go straight back to folly, straight back to wickedness. But it's getting to a point where the Lord is going to have enough of this, and he's about to just eliminate. That's it. You're about to be deleted. You're going to go back to the spirit world, and then you're going to come back down, all right, when the time's right. You're going to come back in the kingdom, with a renewed mind, and that's that. So that's the point where we're coming, into the mass deletion of Jake. And good, man. I personally hate Jake. They're the worst thing to be around. They smell like fucking weed all day. They always want to rob, steal. They have an attitude with everything. They're not cordial. Fucking just degenerates, man. You know? They are that strange vine. That degenerate vine, as the scriptures say. They're not a noble vine. You see? Like I said, I hate Jake. As you get, as you spend more time in this truth, you realize your main issues are with Jake. Now, of course, Esau, you have issues with E as well, but that main group of people that fuck up your situations, man. All right? That's why I stay the fuck away from them as much as I can. I stay away from people in general, but hey, man, when I got to go shopping, run some errands and all that, I get the hell away from Jake. I go to the whitest area I can find, man, and I'm being fucking blunt about it. So at least it's crazy because what happened, what's happened over time is basically Jake and Esau has done a thing called trading places. Esau put their culture onto Jake, and Jake took it and ran with it, man. Because really all this stuff, I always say this nigger culture, bro, black culture, that shit is really just eating my culture at the end of the day, when you really, break it down. But now we're at a point, it's so fucked up where, Esau is civilized, It's fucking madness, man. That's why I say all these things are a good thing. Good, it's beautiful that all this stuff is happening. And I pray that the Lord puts a spirit on E to allow his troops to really just start laying down the law, man. Because Jake thinks it's a fucking joke right now, man. And because you got to remember, man, we've been preaching this for how many, starting with our apostles, elders. Because you got to remember, the apostles even have elders that have been speaking on this since the 60s, 70s. All right? Then going down to the current leaders, which are the apostles, down to the elder bishops, the different elders, us brothers. We've been preaching this for so long. We've been saying this is going to come. And our people have, slapped the hand. You know what I'm saying? Pushed it away. Now it's coming to them to bite them in the ass. Good. This is a beautiful thing. I like it. Makes me happy. All right? Makes me happy, seeing Jake in this, predicament. Fuck him. All right, but let me get back to that Isaiah 10. We never finished that out. Spirit had me hop into these other precepts, but let me get this, and we'll start wrapping it up too. I don't want to keep this too long. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 10 and 5. Let's read that again. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send them against a hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath. And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Okay? So Jake has to deal with this. This is all orchestrated by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And like I said, this is a good thing, man. Jake needs it. A reset button needs to be hit, because these people, in particular, 2/3 of our people, they can't be rehabilitated. They're too far gone, man. All they want to do is shake ass, do drugs, commit adultery, gang bang, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Shoot some dice. You know what I'm saying? That's all Jake wants to do, bro. Get on TikTok, Instagram, go live, act a fool, do a team takeover. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. They want to do all these things instead of being an Israelite. So they got to go, man. I say they do all this wickedness, and then they believe that if they go to church, pray to white JC, and everything's good. Then it's getting into so bad too. I'll say this: we're getting to a point where Jake doesn't even believe in the Lord anymore. They don't even believe in God, so to speak, right? So fuck them, man. Let them die. I'm glad that the Lord is allowing E to bring this wrath. Shut this shit down. People think E's a fucking joke, man. He is no joke. And mind you, E is not a bitch, bro. I know we talk some shit, you know, about E, but you gotta remember, this is the Lord's left-hand side, bro. He is not a bitch. This guy is about to come down with some fucking might, bro. And he's gonna subdue these people. He's gonna make them tap out, so to speak. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be fucking friendly. People are gonna be reminded of why this guy is still in power right now. The Lord gave him that blessing, which is the sword, and he's gonna use it on you people, man. He's gonna use it to his fullest. And he's gonna have fun, man. The Lord's gonna allow this to happen, you know, for a little bit of time. And I'm telling you, yeah, I'll say this, man. There was a couple, this was like maybe last month. They had out here in Chicago, they had this, you know, these stupid ass teens, right? We're trying to do a teen takeover, but the cops caught wind of it, right? And so they were, you know, deployed all over. And where we camp at, you had, you know, these teens trying to, you know, gather up there, you know, to get into their shenanigans, right? And so they had all these cops, you know, in the area, you know, checking them and all that shit. Now, while we were teaching, there was this one Edomite cop, and this guy was hot. He was hot. And, you know, we were bringing it out, saying that, look, man, the Lord's gonna allow E to get you niggers, bro. And when we mentioned how, yeah, they're gonna allow him to get, you know, take them nightsticks, some billy clubs, and start bashing you. You know, the Lord's gonna allow, you know, E to, you know, pull out that gun and start shooting. And man, that cop got hot. Hey, the brothers, they you know, they're witnesses too. That cop was so hot. When we said that, he started, his fingers were like this on the gun, literally like this. He was listening to what we were saying. He was hot. He's like, yeah, I'm about to kill him. He was getting juiced up. He can't wait to shoot you punks, man. You know, like I said earlier, he just has to, you know, put on this mask right now, you know, and play, you know, this little role, so he doesn't look like a bug out. But in reality, man, he wants to be that American Psycho. All right, you see? But you know, I'm gonna end this lesson, and look, man, I'll say this before I leave: all these, you know, riots worldwide, because like I said, it's just not happening out here in America. You know, of course, mainly in LA. I mean, there's other things that are happening, like I said, in, you know, France, out there in Paris, you know, out there in the UK, London, all these different places, man. Hey, people are protesting against E, man, even his own people. But he's gonna get to a point where enough's enough, man. He's gonna shut this down. Look, pretty much, he's gonna say, all you people are a hazard and a danger, even to your own selves and to the society. And look, we gotta you gotta listen to us. It's for your safety, all right? And that's where, you know, I'll say this, you know, that Daniel 8, you know, like 24 and 25, that goes into Antiochus Epiphanes, which is the fourth, right? You know, that's, you know, first and foremost talking about him, but just in general, E comes in that spirit. And by peace shall he destroy many. Remember that, and that's what's coming. He's going to tell you these things are for your own good. But in reality, it's here to destroy you. All right? And with that, you know, I'm going to end this lesson. Hopefully it was edifying. And with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Also double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. Shalom.